Today, I'm going to show you guys how to paint the rim of a car. To get started, you're going to need something you can wash off the rim with, a jack to get the tire off your car, and then some old newspaper, and of course, some good old paint. So, to start off, you're going to need to take your jack. Oh, you also need some tape too, so you can tape up the edges of your rim when you're painting. But you're going to get started by taking your jack and lifting your car up to get the tire off. Today I'm going to do the front right one. I spray painted these a little bit back, and I ended up missing a spot because I did it at night. So now's the perfect chance to go ahead and get it finished. So we're just going to jack this car up. But before we jack it, we got to break the bolts on the. Sorry to take the tire off your car. You're going to need to break your bolts. Up the bolts, you're going to go ahead and jack up your car. So all you need is just a jack, and hopefully you know where to put it. If you don't know where you're going to jack up your car, you probably shouldn't be doing this. You're good. Also, a little tip. Before you jack these up, you need to make sure you put blocks behind your back wheels, especially if you're on a little slope like I am. So, got that off. Now I'm just going to go ahead and finish taking off all these bolts. So once you got all your bolts off, grab all of them and make sure you put them somewhere safe. You really don't want to lose these. So I'm just going to put mine right up here. Alright. Next thing you're going to do, take off the tire. So once you got the tire off, you're going to bring it over to your newspaper. Set it down right there. So, come here. Before you can start spraying this, you're going to have to wash it and get all the paint, all the dirt off. If you have any dirt on there, the paint's not really going to stick as well, and your rim's just going to look like crap. So I got a bucket of car cleaner and some brushes and sponges and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and get this cleaned up. Actually, I'm going to take this off my newspaper before I do that. I found this long brush works pretty well. I don't know what you guys have at home, but hopefully you know it works best for you. So I got all the dirt off my car, off my tire. And now you're gonna need to grab a rag or something and dry it off. Alright, so once your tire's all dry, you're gonna take your tape. I'm using some Scotch Blues painter tape, and you're gonna wanna put this on the outside of the tire. So right here, on the outside of the rim, I guess, right where the tire meets the rim. So that way when you're spraying, you're not really getting any paint on the tire, just the rim itself. So I don't have a really long piece here, but I found it works, that it's a lot easier to get the tape on if you just take a bunch of smaller pieces and put them all on together. It's the best way to get the tape on there. Kind of takes a while, so probably just gonna fast forward through and edit this part out. So after you got all the tape laid around the perimeter of your rim, you're gonna wanna take a screwdriver or something sharp and get all of the tape pushed under the rim, because sometimes there's a little bit of extra tape just chilling on the outside, so you don't want that area to not get any paint on it. So I found if you just take a screwdriver or a knife or something, you can tuck all the tape under pretty easily, and then your rim's gonna look even better. So I got this all pushed under, and now we're ready to get tires all dry, and you got all of the blue tape around it. You're gonna go ahead and take your tire and put it on your newspaper. So you have the newspaper there, so that way you're not getting any paint on the driveway or anything like that. So you're gonna want to shake your can up. I'm using Duplicolor tire paint. I think a can of this was like $8 at AutoZone or something. And I already painted all the tires on my car, but the weekend after I painted them, I kind of scratched the curb. I got too close when I was parking. So I need to redo that. And then I also was doing this at night, and I kind of missed a spot. So word of advice is to do this in the daylight, or if you're doing this at night, make sure everything's colored. So once I can get this open, I'm gonna go ahead and start spraying. I'm actually gonna dry that off a little bit. Just a little bit of water on there. So you're supposed to hold the can about 6 to 12 inches away, and then you just kind of do short little squirts like that. I just completely forgot to cover that. If you mess up and you forget to tape something, like I forgot to tape that Volvo symbol, it's no big deal. You just take rubbing alcohol, wipe it off a little bit, and it comes straight off. No issues. That's why I really like this Duplicolor tire paint I'm using. So now that I have that all cleaned off, I need to grab my tape and just tape it off. All those symbol covered up, I'm gonna get back to just painting it. So like I was saying before, just 6 to 12 inches away, and you do short little squirts like that. Alright, so you're going to want to spray that about 3 or 4 times. So you're going to have to let this dry for a minute, and then you're going to go back to spraying. After that's dried, you're going to go ahead and you're going to paint it again. And while you're waiting for it to dry, you should have been shaking this can up. I believe the directions say you're supposed to vigorously shake it for a minute for every 30 seconds of use. So I've been shaking it for probably like 2 minutes now, so we're ready to roll. So you're just going to do the same exact thing, but so you're going to want to make sure you get on the insides of the rims, because you don't want to be missing those spots looking like a fool when you're driving. So you're going to go ahead and make sure you get everything. So, second layer, done. And you're just gonna do the same exact thing again. You're gonna shake your can and wait for that to dry. Alright, so I'm gonna do it one more time. I already had my wheel painted, so I probably didn't need to do it 3 times, but when you're doing this for the first time, you're gonna need to go ahead and do it like 3 or 4 times, maybe even more if you miss a spot. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same thing I was doing. I'm gonna make sure I get all the insides and the outside of my rim. That way everything's looking all good. Alright, so now that I got the whole rim painted, I'm just going to have to wait for it to dry. And then I'm going to go ahead and take all my tape off and get it back on my car. So since this is done drying, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to get all my tape off. So it might be a bit hard to peel up at first, but
I think it's looking good.
hopefully it'll just all peel up at once for you. Doesn't seem to be the case, so I'm going that way, so I'm going to go this way. Here we go. Alright, so now that I got my tape off, I'm just gonna take. Oh. Okay, so I need to get my centerpiece off. Let me just edit that. All right. So since I got all my tape off, I'm gonna go ahead and take a paper towel, put a little bit of rubbing alcohol on there, and then just wipe around the outside of my car, get any of the paint that might have made onto my tire off.
I think it's looking good.
All right, just be very careful not to touch the rim, because that will take the paint off of the rim. Especially if you just put it on there. Eventually, it'll dry and you don't really have to worry about it as much in the future. But right after you get the paint on there, that's when it's really easy to take it off. So just be very careful doing this. I'm going to be trying to get my Volvo Simple clean. And this is probably the hardest part because it's such a small area. Alright, so that's looking good enough to me. Just go around the edges one more time.
Mess with it some more. We can paint, and we gotta get.
And we'll be good.
We're gonna have to go get the felt. But thank you. So.
All right. So, got that all done. Now it's time to take your tire and head back over to your car. So, we're just gonna put the tire back on, which is easy to do. So. All right. So you're gonna get your tire back on your car, and then you're gonna just hand tighten your bolts just to get them on there. For some reason, these never really like to go on, but they will.
I'm almost done. It's okay, I think I can use this. I'm putting a lot of faith in my editing abilities right now. Hopefully this, I can upload this to YouTube for my class. Is that what you have to put on? Yeah. I'm really planning on reading this. If I can't mute this, then I guess my whole class is going to hear this. I don't know if you guys can't. So if you can, this is a J Newton production. J-Way, baby. J-Way! Where's my... So...
Got my nuts on there. I'm just going to go ahead and tighten them up. Remember, it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
Sunday I got you, bro. Sweet.
All right. So now that I got my bolts tightened up, or my nuts tightened up, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set this down slowly. All right. So once you got this down, you're just gonna go ahead and you're gonna tighten up all your bolts, going in a star pattern. So you're just gonna skip over a bolt. So like that. And you really gotta make sure you get these tight, because one time on that minivan over here, I got it inspected, and the people at Tread Quarters, apparently they're smart enough to inspect a tire, but it's not smart enough to put a tire on right. So it kind of fell off. And I'm really scared of that happening again, so I always make sure I get these as tight as humanly possible. Feeling good. I always like to go over it twice, really make sure I get it tight, because like I said, after that tire flying off, I take no chances. Alright, all good. So now that your rims are looking cool, you're ready to roll, baby.